Picture this. It is a Friday afternoon.
Oh, the best time of the week.
Right. It's the best. You've just signed a brand new client. The contract is totally finalized. Everyone on your team is thrilled. Handshakes are exchanged across the conference table, or, maybe you just send a bunch of those celebratory emojis in your company's team chat.
Yep, the little party popper emoji. I know it well.
Exactly. You are riding high. You close your laptop, you go out and enjoy the weekend, and you feel like you are absolutely clashing it.
Yeah.
But then...
I know where this is going.
Yeah. Then Monday morning hits, and the chaos begins.
I mean, I know this feeling all too well. The celebration ends, and this complete dread just sets in because now you actually have to get this person or this whole company set up in your system.
Exactly. The honeymoon phase is just over. Instantly, the client gets an email from your team, and it is a complete mess. It has like 47 different digital document attachments. There are links that just do not work. Then a few of those papers get lost in the shuffle on your end.
Right.
So the client prints out a form, fills it out with a pen, scans it, and emails it back. But
they forgot to sign page 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
They always forget page 3. So you reply to tell them, but the specific person on your team who's supposed to process that signature just went on a 2-week vacation. Signatures stall. Days go by.
And suddenly the client, who was, so excited on Friday, is sending you these confused, maybe mildly irritated emails asking, did you get my form? Am I supposed to be doing something right now? Is anyone actually looking at my file?
Right. And by the time you actually start doing the real work, the actual service they paid you for, the client is already totally exhausted. They're sitting there wondering if they made a huge mistake hiring you.
Yeah, that is a nightmare scenario.
It is, and it happens every single day in almost every industry. But welcome to today's deep dive. We are on a mission today. We are going to show you how to completely automate the way you welcome and set up your new clients. And we're going to do it using tools that absolutely anyone can understand. No computer science degree required.
Welcome to SBAI, Service Business AI, where modern service businesses scale smarter with artificial intelligence.
I have to admit, I'm bringing a healthy dose of skepticism today.
Bring it on.
Because honestly, when I hear the words artificial intelligence and automation, my brain immediately jumps to, well, complicated computer code, massive IT budgets, software that takes 6 months to learn, and as someone running a business, I don't have 6 months.
That is exactly the hurdle we are going to clear today. We are keeping it simple, plain, and actionable. We aren't talking about science fiction, we are talking about practical tools. So let's just start from the very beginning. What actually is AI client onboarding? I want you to think of this entire process like walking into a really nice high-end restaurant.
Okay, I'm picturing a nice restaurant. White tablecloths, soft lighting, maybe some quiet music.
Perfect. Now imagine walking through the front door of this beautiful restaurant. You are hungry, you are excited to be there, but there is no host standing at the front desk.
Oh, weird.
Right. The place is empty at the front. Instead, there is just a handwritten cardboard sign taped to the wall that says, go find the kitchen, tell the chef what you want to eat, and go find yourself a clean table.
I mean, that sounds incredibly stressful. I actually went to a terrible steakhouse a few years ago that operated sort of like that.
Really?
Yeah, nobody was at the door. I literally had to wander into the bar area just to ask a bartender if we could sit down. The food ended up being great, but I never went back because the welcome was just so chaotic and stressful.
That is the perfect real-world example. Because a good restaurant host doesn't just point you to the kitchen and tell you to figure it out. A good host greets you the second you walk in with a warm smile. They take your heavy coat, they walk you to a clean, prepared table, they hand you a menu, pour your water, and personally introduce you to your waiter. They make you feel taken care of from the very first second.
That makes total sense. So how does that translate to a digital business environment? Because I don't have a front door or a coat check.
AI client onboarding is that exact same restaurant host, but for your business. The very moment a client signs a contract with you, the AI automatically steps in to greet them. It collects their order, which in business means gathering their basic information, their tax forms, their business licenses, and it sets the table for your team.
Okay.
So that when you finally sit down to talk to the client on a video call, everything is perfectly organized and ready to go.
So it's gathering the information without me having to manually ask for it. But I'll push back on this a little bit.
Go ahead.
Doesn't doing things manually show the client that you actually care about them? I always thought that being high-touch-like, Personally hand-typing every welcome email and being deeply involved in every tiny administrative step was a good thing.
Yeah.
It makes it feel bespoke and personal, right?
That is such a crucial point, and it brings us to a fascinating trap that so many businesses fall into. It is a concept we are going to call the high-touch paradox. We trick ourselves into thinking that doing everything manually equals being personal and caring, but actually it is the exact opposite.
How so? If I sit down and write an email directly to my client, isn't that inherently better than a machine firing off an automated message?
In theory, yes. Sitting down and writing a thoughtful email is wonderful. But in reality, you are a busy human being. You have other clients, you have internal meetings, you have emergencies, you get sick, you have to go to sleep at night.
True.
So because you insist on hand-typing that welcome email and manually attaching all the files, it doesn't get sent on Monday when they signed. You get busy, and it doesn't get sent until Thursday.
And in the meantime, the client has just been sitting in the dark for 3 days.
Exactly. This is the high-touch paradox. Hand-typing everything actually just makes the client wait longer. And when an email slips through the cracks because you were too busy putting out a fire somewhere else, the client doesn't feel cared for. They feel completely ignored. Your attempt to be personal actually resulted in a terrible customer experience.
Put that way, my so-called personal touch is actually just a bottleneck. I'm the reason they are waiting.
Precisely. Let's look at the hard math on this, because the numbers from our sources for this deep dive are just staggering. When you add up all the little tasks, the manual emails, the dragging and dropping of files, the data entry, the average business spends between 5 to 11 hours doing repetitive manual setup work for just one single new client.
11 hours? Just on setup and paperwork. That seems impossible. What are they actually doing for 11 hours?
Think about the back and forth. You send an email asking for a document. They send it back, but it's the wrong document.
Right.
You email them again. Then someone on your team has to open that document, read it, and retype the information into your company database. Then they make a typo, so someone else has to go in and fix it. Then you spend 3 days playing phone tag just trying to schedule an introductory meeting. It adds up incredibly fast. Let's do some simple math.
Yeah.
Let's say your time, or your employee's time, is worth $75 an hour.
Okay.
And let's say your business brings on 20 new clients a month.
Let me work this out. 20 clients times, let's be conservative, and say 10 hours of setup per client. That is 200 hours a month spent just on administrative onboarding.
200 hours a month times $75 an hour. That is $15,000 a month. Multiply that by 12 months in a year. You are losing $180,000 a year just doing basic repetitive paperwork. You are spending the equivalent of 2 full-time, high-level salaries just dragging digital files into computer folders and asking people what time they're free for a video call.
Wow, that is genuinely painful to hear. It really puts a massive dollar amount on the frustration. But abstract math is one thing. I want to know this actually works in the real world. Are there any concrete examples of companies fixing this, or is this just theory?
Absolutely real. Let's look at a very massive example. RBC Wealth Management. They are a giant financial firm. They deal with incredibly sensitive, complex client onboarding every day. Under their old manual system, they used to take 7 full days to open a single new account for a client.
7 days. Why did it take a whole week just to open a financial account?
Because their human employees literally had to log into 26 different computer systems to copy and paste the exact same client information over and over again. Imagine typing a client's name, address, and social security number into System 1, then logging into System 2, and typing it all again, 26 times.
That is absurd.
It was soul-crushing work for the employees, and it meant the client had to wait a week to actually start investing their money.
That sounds like a recipe for massive human error, too. By the 20th system, I would definitely be typing the wrong address.
Exactly. So RBC brought in automated tools. They used AI to do the clicking, the sorting, and the copying. The AI takes the information once and instantly populates it across all 26 systems simultaneously. Do you know how long it takes them to open an account now?
If it was 7 days, maybe they got it down to 1 full day.
24 minutes.
You were joking.
Yeah.
From 7 entire days of labor to 24 minutes.
Not a joke. That is the power of letting a machine do machine work. And it's not just giant global banks that see these results. Look at a software company called Pigment. They sell business planning software. They used to take 30 days to get a new customer fully set up, trained, and integrated into their system. 30 days of back and forth emails and manual data entry. They brought in automation to handle the setup steps, and it dropped to just 2 days.
Going from a month to 2 days completely changes the cash flow of a business. You can start billing people almost immediately. But what really stands out to me here, the core benefit, is that this isn't necessarily about firing people or replacing human workers with robots. If that financial advisor at RBC isn't spending 7 days copying and pasting an address into 26 systems, they can actually sit down, have a cup of coffee with the client, and talk about their life goals.
You nailed it. That is the ultimate goal of all of this. The AI handles the coordination so you can handle the connection. It gets the boring robotic stuff out of the way so humans can actually do what humans do best: talk to each other, build trust, and strategize. So let's get into the mechanics. Let's walk through exactly how this works, step by step, in plain English. Imagine we just signed a brand new client. What is step 1?
I'm ready. Let's build this process. Walk me through step 1.
Step 1 is what we call the smart welcome. This is all about intake and forms. The old way, the manual way, was sending an email with a blank digital document attached and asking the client to print it, fill it out with a pen, scan it, and email it back.
Just hearing you describe that makes me tired. I hate getting a form I have to print.
Right, it creates friction immediately. So the new action is that the AI sends a smart form. Now, how this works is brilliant, and it goes way beyond just typing into a web page. These forms use conditional logic. In plain English, that means the form actually changes shape based on the answers the client gives in real time.
How does a form change shape? Give me an example of what the client actually sees.
Let's say you are an accounting firm. The very first question on your smart form asks, are you a solo freelancer or are you a company with 50 employees? If the client clicks the button for solo freelancer, the form instantly hides the next 20 confusing questions that were meant for companies with 50 employees. It won't ask them for their corporate payroll tax ID or their employee benefits package. It only shows the client the 3 simple questions that actually apply to them.
Oh, that is amazing. I disguise filling out forms where half the questions don't apply to me and I have to keep writing NA or not applicable over and over again. It feels like the company didn't bother to customize the experience for me. So what tool actually does this?
A great, very accessible tool for this is called ClickUp. ClickUp is essentially a digital workspace. If you've never used one, think of it as a highly organized, shared digital bulletin board where your whole team can log in and see exactly what needs to get done, who is doing it, and when it is due.
Okay, I can picture a digital bulletin board. But if I'm already drowning in client work, isn't setting up a system like ClickUp a massive headache? Building smart forms sounds like it takes a lot of time.
That is a very fair pushback. Setting up the form does take an afternoon of your time. You have to sit down and decide what questions to ask, but you only do it once. Once it's built, it runs forever. And here is where the real magic happens. When the client finishes answering those easy questions on the smart form and hits the submit button, ClickUp instantly takes all their answers and automatically creates a neat to-do list for your team on that digital bulletin board.
Wait, so nobody on my team has to read the form and manually write down the tasks?
Exactly. The system reads the form for you. It takes the client's phone number and automatically drops it into your digital address book. If the client checked a box saying they need website design, ClickUp automatically creates a checklist for your design team and sets a deadline. The workspace just organizes itself the second the client hits submit.
So the data just flows directly to where it needs to live. That eliminates an enormous amount of human error right there. Nobody is accidentally typing the wrong phone number because they were rushing. I love it. Okay, the form is submitted. What is dead?
Step 2.
Step 2 is called intelligent document processing. But because that is a mouthful of corporate jargon, we're just going to call it the fast reader. This step is all about dealing with the heavy, complex paperwork.
You mean things like business licenses, tax forms, passports, identity documents, the stuff that usually takes forever to manually review.
Exactly. Let's look at the old way again. Normally, a client uploads a file of their business license. A human on your team has to open that file on their screen. They read it, they look for the company name, they click over to your company database, they type in the name. Then they go back to the file, look for the address, click back to the database, and type in the address.
Yes, the classic dual monitor stare and type. You look left at the document, you look right at the database. It is the most boring, mind-numbing job in the world. Well, the AI steps in here and acts like a super fast reader with a digital highlighter. Now we need to explain how this actually works, because it's fascinating. In the past, computers used something called optical character recognition. Basically, they just looked at the pixels on a page and tried to guess if a shape was the letter A or the letter B, but they didn't understand what they were reading.
Right, which is why old scanners used to turn the word clear into deer and mess everything up.
Exactly. But today, we combine that image reading with the same smart technology behind chatbots like ChatGPT. This means the AI doesn't just see the letters, it actually understands context.
What do you mean by context? How does a computer understand context?
It knows the difference between the word apple when it refers to a fruit you buy at the grocery store, and Apple when it is the name of a massive technology company on a business license. So when the client uploads that business license, the AI looks at the image. In a fraction of a second, it understands the document. It spots the company name, it spots the address, it spots the registration numbers. It highlights them, extracts them, and files them perfectly into your database.
Okay, that sounds like magic, but I have a practical question. What if the client takes a photo of their document with their phone, and the photo is a little bit blurry or the lighting is bad? Does the AI just break down and scramble the data?
That is the beauty of the new technology understanding context. Because it understands the logic of human language, it can handle a bit of messiness. If the zip code is slightly blurry but it knows the state is California and the city is Los Angeles, it can verify the data. But if it is completely unreadable, it won't just guess and put bad data into your system. It will flag the document and send you a notification saying, "This image is too blurry for me to read, please have a human review it."
That alone is incredible. It saves hours of manual entry, but still has the humility to ask for help when it's confused. Okay, moving through our workflow. We have the intake form, we have the documents read. What is step 3?
Step 3 is about creating a home base for the client. We are going to call this creating the VIP lounge and hiring the 24/7 concierge.
A home base, like a website portal they log into. Because I have to be honest, getting clients to actually use a portal is incredibly difficult. They always just end up emailing me anyway.
You are bringing up a very common frustration, and the reason clients do that is because most traditional client portals are essentially just glorified dead file folders. They were just a place to dump documents. We are talking about modern client portals. Two great tools for this are MyDocSafe and Moxo. Think of these as highly secure private digital rooms, but they are active participants in your business.
What makes them active instead of dead folders?
When a client logs into Moxo, they don't just see a list of files, they see a clear visual roadmap of their progress. They see exactly what steps are finished, what step they are on right now, and what you need from them next. And when they upload a private file into that room, the portal actively triggers the next step in your workflow. It automatically alerts your team that the file is there.
Okay, that visual roadmap sounds a lot better than a messy email chain. It gives the client clarity. But what about the 24/7 concierge part? Who is managing this room?
Inside that secure room lives an AI assistant. A great example from our sources is a tool called Quora. Quora is a smart chatbot. But I want to be clear, this is not one of those dumb, frustrating chatbots from 5 years ago that just sends you in circles and makes you scream, "Talk to a human." Quora is trained specifically on your business rules.
Wait, let me test this. Let's say I have a client who is a night owl. It is 2 a.m., they're wide awake trying to get their onboarding paperwork done, and they completely forget where they're supposed to sign a specific tax form.
Right.
Do they just ask the chat window?
Yes. They type into the little chat box, "Where do I sign the tax form?" And Quora, the AI assistant, answers them instantly at 2 a.m. It says, "Click on the third tab on the left and you'll see a green button." It guides them through the process.
Let's tie this right back to what we discussed earlier, the high-touch paradox. Making a client wait until 9 a.m. the next morning for me to personally wake up, drink my coffee, and reply to their email isn't a premium high-touch experience. Getting them the answer instantly at 2 a.m. via an AI so they can finish their task and go to sleep is the real premium experience.
Exactly. You are hitting the nail on the head. The client gets their problem solved immediately without feeling like they're bothering you. And your team gets to sleep soundly instead of waking up to 10 identical panicked emails. It is a win for everyone. Now, let's look at step 4. Scheduling the first date. This is about getting everyone on a kickoff video call.
Oh, scheduling is the absolute worst part of running a business. Does Tuesday at 2 work? No. How about Wednesday at 4? Oh, Dave can't make Wednesday. What about Thursday? It takes 15 emails just to agree on a time.
Not anymore. We are taking the human out of the scheduling entirely. The AI looks at your calendar, it looks at your team members' calendars, and it looks at the client's calendar. It instantly cross-references all of them, finds the overlapping free time where everyone is available, and it sends the calendar invite. Zero back and forth emails.
Just finding the overlapping time automatically is a massive relief.
Yeah.
But what happens once we actually get on the video call?
This is where it gets really exciting. Once you are actually on that kickoff meeting, there is an AI note taker listening in the background.
Like a digital secretary taking shorthand.
Exactly. The AI listens to the entire conversation. When the call ends, you don't have to spend an hour typing up your chicken scratch notes. The AI writes down a perfect, clean, organized summary of everything you discussed. And the best part, it automatically makes a list of action items.
How does it know what an action item is? Does it understand the nuance of a conversation, or does it just write down every single thing we say? Because sometimes we just brainstorm out loud.
It understands the context of commitments. It knows that when you say, Dave, could you please send over the marketing materials by Friday? That is a specific task assigned to a specific person with a deadline. The AI extracts that sentence, creates a bullet point that says, Dave, send marketing materials, and it can even automatically create a reminder for Dave in your system.
That is profound.
Yeah.
That means nobody on the call has to furiously type notes while trying to look the client in the eye. You can actually have a normal, focused human conversation. You can read the client's body language. You can build the relationship because the machine is handling the clipboard.
Exactly. You are fully present in the room. Now, to make all of these separate steps, the smart forms, the fast reader, the portals, the scheduling work together seamlessly, we need step 5, building the factory.
Okay, building the factory. That sounds intimidating. We talked about a lot of different tools. Do I need to hire an expensive software engineer to connect ClickUp to my calendar and my document reader?
Not at all. There is a whole category of tools for this, and a great example is called Mind Studio. Think of Mind Studio like a visual factory floor. It allows you to snap together all these AI helpers we just talked about, like you are playing with digital building blocks.
What do you mean by visual? What am I actually looking at on my screen?
You are literally looking at a blank canvas. You drag a little square box onto the screen that says Send Smart Form. Then you drag another box next to it that says Read Document. Then you just draw a line between the two boxes with your mouse. That's it. You have just created an automated workflow. You do not need to know how to write a single line of computer code.
So I just visually connect the steps, and the software translates my visual map into the actual computer commands in the background. That is incredibly empowering for a regular, non-technical business owner.
It democratizes the technology completely, but when you are building this visual factory, there is a golden rule we have to follow. It's called the 10-20-70 rule of thumb. This is the secret recipe, the framework for making sure your business doesn't turn into a soulless, automated robot factory.
Okay, break down the numbers for me. What is the 10-20-70 rule, and how do I apply it?
Let's start with the 10. 10% of the work should be fully automatic. This is the background administrative stuff that requires absolutely zero human thought or empathy. Things like sending the initial welcome email the exact second the contract is signed, or creating the digital folder for their files, or pinging the team that a new client has arrived. That 10% is on complete autopilot.
Makes perfect sense. No human needs to manually create a folder. That is a waste of a human brain. What about the 20%?
20% is what we call AI assisted. This is where the AI does the heavy lifting, but a human reviews it before it becomes final.
Give me a real example of AI assisted work.
Let's say the AI reads the client's intake form, reads their business license, and uses that information to draft a highly customized 3-page project plan. The AI writes the whole document in seconds. But before that document ever gets sent to the client, you, the human expert, read it over. You tweak a sentence or two, you add a personal touch based on something you discussed on the phone, and then you hit approve. The AI assists by giving you a perfect first draft, but the human is the final judge.
I love that. It cures blank page syndrome.
Oh.
I still have complete control over the important documents, but I don't have to stare at a blinking cursor for an hour just to start writing them. So that leaves 70%. That's a huge chunk.
Exactly. 70% is purely human-led. This is the actual relationship building. This is looking the client in the eye on that video call. This is strategizing about their business problems. This is smiling, laughing, building trust, and providing the actual expertise they hired you for.
That is such a crucial perspective to keep in mind. The AI is only taking over 30% of the total process, the administrative invisible 30%. the vast majority of the experience the client actually feels is still completely human.
Exactly. Which actually leads us perfectly into the next segment, some of the most common beginner questions. Because even with everything we have explained, people still have totally valid, completely natural fears when they hear about integrating AI into their business. So, I want you to channel the listener right now. Imagine you are a skeptical business owner who is still on the fence. What is your biggest worry right now?
Okay, my biggest worry, question one, is about the feeling of it all. We talked about the restaurant host analogy. But will my clients feel like they are just talking to a cold, heartless robot? I have spent years building a brand based on personal relationships. I don't want my clients to feel like they are just a data point moving through a machine.
It is the most common fear, and it is a completely valid one. But the answer is absolutely not, and here is why. We are bringing back the high-touch paradox. Think about the things you are currently doing manually. Asking a client for their zip code 3 times because you lost the paper is not a warm human connection. Chasing them down with 3 emails to sign page 4 of a form is not a meaningful relationship-building moment.
That's true. It's not hospitality, it's just annoying administrative nagging. It probably annoys them as much as it annoys me.
Exactly. The AI takes away the nagging. The AI handles the coordination so you can handle the connection. The AI sends the forms, checks the boxes, and sends the polite automated reminders. Because the AI is doing all the boring paperwork, you actually have more time and more mental energy to look the client in the eye, ask them how their weekend was, and have a deeply meaningful conversation about their business goals. The AI doesn't make you a robot. It frees you up to be more human.
That frames it perfectly. The machine does the machine work so the human can do the human work.
Yeah.
Okay. Question 2 is a practical one. What if the AI just completely messes up? What if a client has a really weird, unique situation that doesn't fit into a neat little box, and the AI just breaks down and sends them the wrong information?
Another great question. The solution is a concept we call keeping a human in the loop. We touched on this with the blurry photo, but it applies everywhere. The AI is specifically designed to handle the routine, predictable, everyday stuff. But it is programmed to know its own limits. If a client asks a highly unusual, complex question that the AI hasn't been taught, the AI does not just guess and confidently give the wrong answer, it pauses.
So what happens when it pauses? Does the client just get an error message?
No, it simply flags a human team member to step in. It might tell the client, "That is a great question. Let me pull in a human specialist to give you the best answer." And then it sends you, the business owner, a notification.
Wait, so it basically raises its digital hand and says, "Hey boss, I need help with this one."
Exactly. It sends you an alert with the context of the conversation, allowing you to seamlessly step in, answer the weird, unique question, and then hand the routine stuff back to the AI. It is an assistant, not a replacement. You are always the safety net.
That's very reassuring.
Yeah.
It's not running wild in the background. It knows its boundaries. Okay, my final question. Question 3. And this is a massive one for anyone handling client data. Is my client's private data actually safe if an AI is reading it? We're talking about tax forms, financial records, sensitive corporate strategy. I read in the news all the time about public AI models accidentally leaking information or learning from things people type into them.
Yes, security is absolutely non-negotiable. If you lose your client's trust regarding their data, you lose your business. And the answer is yes, their data is safe because there is a massive fundamental difference between a public AI tool on the internet and a professional business-grade AI tool.
Break that down for me. What is the actual difference between the AI I play with on my phone and the AI I use for my business?
When you go to a public AI website and type something in, that information can sometimes be used to train the global model. It goes out into the ether. But when you use professional tools like the ones built inside MindStudio or secure client portals like Moxo or MyDocSafe, they are built like digital bank vaults. They use bank-level encryption. They are strictly compliant with major privacy laws like HIPAA in healthcare or GDPR in Europe. Your client's data is locked inside your specific vault.
So it's essentially a closed loop. The AI operates only inside my walled garden. It reads my files and helps my clients, but nothing it learns ever leaks out to the public internet.
Precisely. It is never, ever used to teach or train those big public AI models you read about in the news. It is your private system. In fact, using a secure portal with an AI reader is significantly safer than emailing a document back and forth, because standard email is actually notoriously insecure and easy to intercept.
Okay, you have completely sold me on the concept. I see how this saves hundreds of hours a month. I see how it protects and actually enhances the human relationship by removing the nagging. and I feel much better about the security protocols. But looking at the whole picture we just painted, smart forms changing shape, document readers extracting data, AI note takers writing summaries, chatbots answering questions at 2 a.m., it is a lot. If I am a complete beginner and I am listening to this right now wanting to fix my onboarding, where do I even start without getting totally overwhelmed?
I am going to give you a crucial, urgent warning right now. Do not try to automate your entire business tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do not log off this deep dive and try to build all 5 steps we talked about in one weekend. If you try to build the whole factory on day 1, you will cause a disaster. You will get overwhelmed. The software connections will break. You will frustrate your clients, and you will give up entirely.
Okay, so no sweeping overhauls. What is the one first manageable step a beginner should take?
Here is your one clear, actionable step. After you finish listening to this deep dive, take out a physical piece of paper and a pen. I want you to write down the single biggest time sink you face when a new client signs. What is the one task that makes you groan the loudest?
Just one thing. The single most annoying, repetitive bottleneck.
Yes. For most people, it is usually either the document collection process, chasing down forms, or sending that initial welcome email with the complex instructions. Just pick that one single step and fix that one step. If your biggest problem is intake, go build one smart form on ClickUp. That's it. If your biggest problem is welcome emails, set up one automated email. Do not touch anything else in your business.
And then what? Do I just let it run and ignore it?
You let that one automated block run for a few weeks. You watch it work. You see how your clients react to it. You watch how much time it saves you on a Thursday afternoon. Once you see that it works perfectly, once you trust the technology, and once you feel comfortable with how it operates, then you can add the next block. You build the factory one single digital building block at a time.
Start small, prove it works, build trust with yourself and your clients, and then expand. That feels completely manageable. It takes away all the pressure of needing to become an overnight tech genius.
Exactly. It is a marathon, not a sprint. And I want to leave you with a final provocative thought to chew on today. I want you to think about the last time you personally bought a service or stayed at a hotel or went to a high-end restaurant where you felt truly deeply taken care of from minute 1. Think about how magical and stress-free that felt. You didn't have to ask for anything. It was just anticipated and handled.
It is the absolute best feeling in the world as a customer. You instantly trust the company, and you instantly know you're going to give them your repeat business.
Right. Now, what if your business could deliver that exact same magical, stress-free feeling to every single person who walks through your digital door? And what if your business could deliver that flawless experience while you literally sleep or while you spend time with your family? That is the true promise of AI client onboarding. It is not about replacing you. It is about giving you the tools to be the best, most welcoming host possible every single time.
That is a powerful image to end on. It completely changes the whole perspective from automation is scary and robotic to automation is the ultimate form of hospitality.
Absolutely. So take that one small step today, find your biggest time sink, write it on that piece of paper, and hand it over to the machines. Your clients deserve a smooth welcome, and you deserve to get your time and your sanity back. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Go out there and start building a smoother, happier business. We will catch you on the next one.